No, I just thought that from a defensive perspective and with the midfield, Milan were doing very well in the first half. They had their clear-cut chances. They scored their 2 goals. They could have been 3-0 if, Fofana actually knew where the target was, consistently when taking shots. But it is what it is. You can't always convert your chances. Napoli had their chances too, with the McTominay chance, definitely in the 10th minute, and they had a few other chances where they could have scored. I think there should have been another penalty for Napoli in the first half with the McTominay challenge from Tomori. If there was a touch on the ball from Tomori with the challenge, it was probably like the slightest touch with the ball. But I don't really think there was, and I'm surprised that there wasn't a call for that. But the Napoli goal with the penalty kick, I mean, if I was a Stupinian in that position, I would have just let Di Lorenzo score, to be honest, because
Estúpido.
If you're already out of position, not marking the guy properly,
yep,
and he's gonna have an easy tap in, just let him score. Why would you try to pull the guy's, jersey to the ground? At first, the referee was gonna give a yellow, and I'm like, I don't know how that should just be a yellow card. And of course, VAR got involved and they overturned it and gave Estupiñán a red, which rightfully so. I mean, he just denied a clear goal scoring opportunity. So then the penalty was converted. We went down to 10 men. And as expected, I expected Milan to go all out defense and have Napoli dominate the possession for the rest of the game, which I felt Milan did a good job for the most part in terms of holding down the defensive line.
Yeah.
Leao came in. I mean, he tried to do what he could. There really wasn't much Leao could do because, when you're down to 10 men, you really can't go all out attack. It would have been nice to see if we still had 11 guys, if what Leao could have done in the game. But no, I just think overall it was a good game. I was expecting a close encounter, and I'm just surprised we got the win. And at the moment, we're in first.
Yeah, man. Can we talk about Christian Pulisic, bro? How important has he been for Milan, man? He has,
this is right.
Crazy.
And this is another thing. I don't want people to say that we're Leao dependent anymore, because Christian Pulisic, Salamakers,
Nino,
Modric. I wasn't gonna mention names, but since you mentioned names, Nino, you can stop slandering Pulisic. Yeah, I'm sorry, but for him to constantly say that we're just Leao dependent is a ridiculous take. But Pulisic has been phenomenal. Alexis Salamakers, for me personally, has been one of our top 3 best players since the season started. He is phenomenal. James, I want to thank your team for whatever magic or whatever they did to make that guy the player he is right now.
Ranieri, man.
Madonna mia. He's
welcome up. You're welcome.
Like he was good. He was good at Milan before he left, but he turned into an even better player ever since he came
Belgian
back.
Messi.
So, but and from the defensive side, there's 2 players I want to shout out: Tomori, and Pavlovic. And Pavlovic, especially in this game, because even though his defensive game has improved ever since Allegri has arrived, if you look at how he plays sometimes, it's kind of like what Bastoni does for Inter, with advancing forward and being able to be that backup left back or that left wing back to be able to play a ball into the box or just make those dash and runs going forward. So Pavlovic has improved so much ever since the season started. And it's just Allegri overall, he has turned his team around. If you look at the Milan-Napoli game last year and the Milan-Napoli game of yesterday, side by side on the TVs to compare the quality of the players that were on the pitch and the style of play, it's day and night. Allegri has turned his team down immensely. Turned his team around immensely. So that's really all I gotta say, man. It's just I'm happy about the win. Like I said, I'm happy we're on top, and I feel bad for Dom over here because he's gonna have to wear a Milan jersey at some point on the future show.
Oh man, yeah, man.
But of course, Antonio has to be here. Wow. So
Antonio's got to come back. Yep, he's definitely gonna come back. So
he hasn't sent it for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's gonna definitely want to come out after what happened after Milan beat Napoli. So, but yeah, no, I think that with you guys, Milan, they came out and they wanted to really play, especially after they saw Napoli's back line, that it wasn't the strongest back line. We have to admit that it wasn't the strongest Napoli back line, but I think Allegri was like, okay, we can take advantage of this, and that's what they did. They really did that. They're and I noticed is that when Milan presses, it's like very different. That was the one thing that caught my eye, was that when Allegri's Milan now, when they press, it's completely different from when Allegri was when with the Juve, the way that they would press. So that's a big thing that I noticed from this Allegri's Milan. So, but yeah, no, I mean, I did see Tomori. I don't know if you have any news about what happened with Tomori, because he was like holding on to his groin, I believe, and he had to be substituted. I'm not sure what happened, but
probably from just wear and tear, but hopefully he's able to be match fit for the game against Juventus. If he's not match fit for the game against Juventus, then we could just rely on De Winter, because ever since De Winter would come on from the bench, he just comes in, cleans up shop, finishes the game off, and he does really good defensively. So I have confidence that if he were to come in, if Tomori can't start, I'm sure he would be able to do the job.
Yeah.
And then we also got Ate Kame, that guy as well. He can also sometimes play center back if we really need that backup center back. If Allegri wants to keep Alexis Salamakers on the pitch.
Yeah. Yeah, man. No, but Dom, let's talk about your Napoli, bro. What's happening?
Yeah, man, I got a lot to say. Some positives, some negatives. I'm gonna get it right off the jump because I don't really like blaming refs for results. So I'm just gonna go ahead straight into the garbage of a ref we had. We all know that was a penalty. That should have been a penalty given to Napoli on McTominay. Ref happened right in front of the ref's face, by the way. The ref was standing right there. Didn't even go back to VAR to check it out. Fine. Another issue was that the red card that was issued to Estupido, the ref initially pulled out his yellow card, and that was it. And it happened right in front of his face. Dilo had to go over there and be like, yo, he basically tell him how to do his job.
Yeah.
Like, listen, that's a red. VAR starts looking at it. Ref finally goes over there to the cam, checks it out. Then you see that he almost feels like an idiot, forced to make that decision that he should have made off the jump. So I don't know. I think this ref was completely garbage. Another thing, from the red card, from all of that happened, to us to take the penalty, 6 minutes of the game had passed, and this ref only gave us 7 extra minutes of stoppage time. Garbage. Should have been 10. Should at least been 10. He only gave us 7. All right, that's about it. That's all I got to say on the ref. Now, going to the things that matter, because you need to win the game. You can never depend on any refs, especially Serie A refs. You never want to do that. So,
especially when Keefe is your ref. Ugh.
Yeah.
That guy's horrible.
Horrible.
He's horrible, bro.
They just suck.
So I want to get to Conte's starting 11. Now, I was good with everything except for the back line. My real top concern was, why is Buchema not starting, and why are you putting in Marianucci that hasn't sniffed the field all season, right? No chemistry in that back line, by the way. Gutierrez hasn't sniffed the field either. Now, after the match passed, and I realized that Marianucci is not in the roster for the Champions League. So basically, Conte has 2 center backs going into the Champions League, Juan Jesus and Buchema, because Ramani got re-injured during morning training, and Buongiorno, we already know, is injured. So now I understand why Conte decided to play Marianucci. Because God forbid Buchema gets injured that game, then Conte is walking in to face Sporting with 1 center back. Now, Spinazzola and Oliveira. What we got is that muscle fatigue. They're tired. We should be seeing them in 2 days if that's the case. I don't know if they're trying to hide injuries from us. I doubt it, because normally Napoli don't do that. They don't. They tell us what's up. So that's why Gutierrez started. Now, with these two players, Gutierrez and Marianucci, we all know that Marianucci had a big contribution to that first goal. But after I reviewed tape, Anguissa actually that was the second goal. Sorry. So Marianucci had most of the fault in that. Now, the kid, he's playing at San Siro, hasn't played for Napoli. Mm-hmm. He's wearing the Scudetto, defending Scudetto jersey. He walks in there and he's looking at the San Siro. You could imagine how the environment was. The kid is obviously very nervous. He goes into challenges too early. Pulisic, which is world-class midfielder, just hopped over him like if it was like he was at the playground. Merritt really couldn't stop that goal. It was just perfect build-up and an amazing finish. That's what it was. Couldn't have been stopped. And it goes back to Marianucci. It happened right in the beginning of the game. The kid couldn't even settle into the game. Now, I got to give him props because the kid actually throughout the game started playing better. He actually really did. Yep. So got to give him that. Gutierrez, the same thing, actually. Gutierrez started actually playing very, very impressive throughout the game. So those are my two positives out of this game from the back line. The second goal, Anguissa should have put more effort into it, and he didn't. And that resulted into that second goal. Anguissa really didn't play a really solid game, but still, it was good enough. I mean, I really can't slander the guy. I wish he was a little bit more clinical, though. I wish he would have been a little bit more clinical, though, because he had an opportunity to score, but he didn't. Mostly in the first half was actually very impressive. Mostly the first half was balanced, very balanced, except for possession. We had more possession, 70% versus like a 30-something% for Milan. Everything else was pretty balanced. It wasn't like Milan was dominating us. It was just that first goal and then the second made you feel like we were getting completely cooked. But if you look at the stats, it was actually pretty balanced. Second half, we all know that Napoli dominating in possession, because at that point, Milan goes to 10 men, and we already know how that goes. Now, Milan is switching into defensive mode. Smart on Allegri for putting in Leao, because then that sent the alarm to the back line. Okay, now we got to watch out for Leao. And you saw that 7 Napoli players at one point crowded Leao. Yeah. I was really proud of that, because if you looked at it, it was during a set piece, and almost that whole entire team hustled back. That's something that we didn't do back in the Champions League.
That was so
we didn't
fun.
do that.
Like what?
So they hustled back. Got to give it to them.
You got to give it to them, yeah. But I've never seen this
organization.
It was just like.
I was gonna jokingly message Tom and be like, "Yo, did they got PTSD that badly from Leao?"
The flipping that run in the Champions League.
They could not afford to get another goal scored on them, because then that would have been the game.
Oh yeah,
that would have been.
I mean, it's funny. It's funny on Twitter, right? You know, for the memes and stuff. It's funny. It's hilarious. Well, yeah, but if you look at the game, that was actually a very impressive highlight of Napoli.
Yeah,
that whole team hustled back. That whole team had the fight to sprint all the way and catch up with Leao. So I was impressed with that. little things. Politano was cooking Estúpido the whole first half.
Yeah, he was, dude.
Wish he would have scored or made an assist, but unfortunately he didn't. Yeah. Conte should have taken off Politano. I when they went down to 10 man, I think Politano should have came off. And we all saw Neres.
Yep.
And I'm very impressed with Neres, man. He's almost scored twice. Good. And he's solid. So what I get out of this is Milan, well-deserved W for Milan. Unfortunately, Napoli weren't at their 100%. Milan was. And it's a deserved W for Milan, a disappointing loss for Napoli, because it would have been more entertaining if we would have had at least one of our top 3 center backs playing. We were out without our top 3 center backs. So imagine if that happens to any other team. You already know you're thin at the back. But even with that, Marianucci came back. He got focused, so that's a positive. And I mean, that's all I got. Congrats to Francesco. Listen, when I lose. I don't make no excuses. I don't go into history. I don't do any of that nonsense. Good W on you. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in the second part of the season.
Well,
and you'll be at Napoli, so get ready for that.
Well, Dom, here's the thing. First off, I appreciate what you just said, but now I'm concerned because the last time there was a 2-1 result at Milan, it was when Napoli beat Milan 2-1, right? In 2022. It was and I think it was also match day 5, if I'm not mistaken. It was probably match day 4. It was very early in the season.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm concerned because this can only mean potentially one thing. That when Napoli plays Milan, this time it's going to be Napoli's turn to win 4-0 against Milan.
Surely not.
No.
So,
no.
Maybe I just jinxed it. It could now it might happen, but hey, you never know.
Listen. When we play you next,
in football never happened until they got brought up, bro.
Oh,
when we play you next, we should have Lukaku back, so we'll have 3 strikers, and we'll be heavy in attacks. So you better play that Corto Muso really well. Better play that Corto Muso.
It was a good game for both teams. I'm just happy that I won, and if Milan could beat Juventus next weekend, I think it's safe to say that they can be a Scudetto contender as the season continues to unfold if they beat Juve next week.
Savannah, slow down. Slow down.
What? Nadine, don't jinx it. Don't jinx it. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing.
Listen. Listen. Hold on. Listen.
Okay.
Francesco right now with what he just said threw you guys a huge compliment that I don't know why he said that, because he almost said kind of like not the Scudetto is going to be decided in Turin, but that would give a huge boost for Milan to be Scudetto contenders. I think them beating us, they already made that statement, because if they were able to beat Antonio Conte's Napoli, beating Tudor's Juventus is more of a statement. I don't think so. So I already think they're Scudetto contenders. It's not a shot at Juventus, but I seriously think they're already Scudetto contenders if they could stay healthy. They play once a week. I know this schedule. This is an easy schedule. And I'm not going to discredit them for playing once a week. You only could play for the trophy that's available to you. So put all your chips into that, and let's see what happens. Now, I seriously think, and this is, listen, I like to banter on Juventus. I love it, but this is not banter. It would take a miracle for Juventus to beat Milan this weekend. A miracle. A miracle. I'm saying it right now.
Well,
So Dom,
Right.
the only reason why I didn't say that after we beat Napoli that we're Scudetto contenders yet, because I don't want the players to have that mindset like, oh, like we just beat Napoli, you know, and I don't.
We've done it already.
You know, we've done it. It's like I don't
Yeah.
want them to be on that sugar high. And Allegri even stated himself, "It's like, yes, we beat Napoli, but now we have to focus against Juventus. You know, Juventus is listen, they're not as good as Napoli, but they're not an easy team to play either. So that's why I said, let me wait until after the Juve game. If Milan can beat Juventus,
you're playing it too safe, friend. Listen, it's match day 5. It's match day 5. It's match day 5. As of right now, at match day 5, looking at the table, Napoli, Milan, and Roma are joint for first place. Scudetto contenders is Napoli, Milan, and Roma. People are sleeping on Roma. People are sleeping on
Roma. Yeah,
but Roma has a solid defense.
We gotta play Roma later on in October, so that's the next game I'm worried about. I just remember we got
and our attack still hasn't warmed up yet. So
exactly.
Yep.
And that's the thing I'm nervous about.
Yeah, man. I have a question for you about the words that Conte said about KDB.
Oh, I was gonna say that.
Because
I don't know. What's that about, man?
Bro, when I saw that and I heard I was like, yo, something must have happened, but I don't know.
Substitution, I heard.
Yeah.
KDB, like his body language was that he was frustrated that he was taken off. I didn't see it. I don't know what exactly he did. Those things I don't really care about. I'm caring about winning that game. So I don't care about that nonsense. That's Conte's problem. But supposedly when the press asked him post game, they asked him that question, and he basically said, well, I hope he was frustrated about the result and not frustrated about the substitution, because if he was frustrated about, he's messing with the wrong person. Now, my take on that.
Wow.
My take on that is, okay, Conte is making a statement. This is a team. This is not Kevin De Bruyne Napoli. This is Napoli, right? So I like it. But I think that last sentence he should have kept to himself and should have verified with KDB if he was actually frustrated about substitution or frustrated about the result. Because him doing that could have stirred the pot. But then again, we don't know what's going on during training. We have no idea what's going on in practice. We only see what the camera shows us for 90 minutes. So I don't know what's going on over there. What I do know is that KDB has not been as effective enough for our team since he's gotten here. And he has to step it up because Conte switched up to a 4-man midfield to bring KDB in as a starter, and it's been taking away a lot of the abilities and the talent of McTominay. And now we're kind of playing handicap. It works if KDB starts performing, but if KDB's not performing and it's holding McTominay back, then what are we doing here? Now, talking about that, I think that Conte, my prediction is Conte's not going to start KDB against Sporting. He's going to go with a 3-man midfield, and he's going to play the 4-3-3. I think Conte's using this as an excuse to go and change formation.
Yep.
And I would love to see it. I would love to see it because that's our formation. Our formation is the 4-3-3. We played a lot of that in the season that won us the Scudetto, and we need to get back to that. So, especially picking up 3 points in the Champions League, play the most powerful formation, and hopefully it works out. We'll see. KDB start, will he not? I don't know, but yeah, that's the only thing I had to say. That last part of the sentence he could have kept to himself.